Bonjour Québec, Caroline Mailloux. Je suis au studio aujourd'hui pour vous présenter un homme extraordinaire, John DeSouza, en direct de l'Arizona. So we will do the video in English today and you will get the subtitle after. Hi, Mr. John.
Hello, Caroline.
Hi.
So great to be with you here today.
It's great.
Very
I'm
nice.
really happy to have an amazing person like you on the show of the studio of Andrew Pitt. It's a really an honor. And I know everybody that this man will blow your mind because he is really a wonderful person first, and because he always encouraged to look beyond what the physical conclusion when he's doing investigation. So I will just let him introduce himself now.
Yes, for your audience, I am John DeSouza. I was an FBI special agent in the United States for 25 years. And during that time, I worked a lot of big counterterrorism cases and also paranormal cases as well. And as a result, some of my cases in 1993 were used for a show that some people know called The X-Files. And that's what I do. And so now today, I am doing investigations to show people what is really going on in the world around them.
This is why I thought that it was good to have you as soon as possible for Quebec people, because people doesn't know anymore what to do, what will happen, and they have a certain lecture that is done here that is good, but I think that you go even sometimes deeper, and as soon as we will merge and we will work with the other patriots who are in USA, it will be even better for the French community here. It's about the time that the French community get all this information that you have. First of all, could you explain, that was not in our question, but I saw that in a video that you explained the transformation of the institution FBI throughout the time. So could you explain how the FBI became something else with the time?
Are you talking in terms of the history of the FBI, or are you talking about how it became corrupt in the last in this last period that we're going
It's because you mentioned that it became something really political with the time, and at the beginning it was not the case.
Yes. When I started with the FBI back in the 90s, it was an organization that was dedicated purely to fighting terrorism and criminals, and we actually put terrorists in prison for hundreds of years at that time. Then after that, the globalism, the globalist influences started taking over the FBI, and we no longer really put terrorists in prison anymore. We tend to just deport them back to their own countries, and they don't go to prison here. Also after that, we had globalists take over the FBI, like this very terrible character named James Comey, who took over the FBI. He was assigned by the individual who got to be U.S. president, named Renegade. I don't even like to say his name, but his name was Obama. And he basically destroyed our government, our system of government. He destroyed the FBI, and he assigned this person, James Comey, to be in charge of the FBI. And he completely corrupted the organization. He destroyed it. He got rid of a lot of good FBI agents who wouldn't go along with his agenda. And he was just a terrible, terrible individual. He was eventually fired, and hopefully he will be going to prison sometime soon. And that's what I had to face in the FBI.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You know that I know you since that I saw your conference at the Dimension of Disclosure that was in August 2019 in I think Hawaii or California, I don't remember. And You mentioned that the 14th of October 2019 was a really, really important date, and you did a parallel. You said that it was linked to Sobibor pollen. Can you explain that part?
Yes, August 14th was the anniversary, and I think it was maybe the 40-year anniversary of the escape from Sobibor, which was very symbolic, very relevant to the time that we're living through right now, because it was the escape from Sobibor was the largest mass escape from a slave camp, that occurred, and it was the largest slave escape or prison escape from a fascist labor camp since Spartacus in Rome, because it was the escape of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these prisoners, the Jewish prisoners in this Nazi camp in Sobibor, Poland. And it was a terrible, terrible place. But they were able to come together, all the prisoners, in basically in the name of God. They were able to work together. They were able to kill a lot of their Nazi prison guards, and they were ultimately their plan began to fall apart. It was a terrible thing, and most people, it was recorded in a great movie called Escape from Sobibor from I think it's from the 90s, but it's people can see it today. It's an amazing chronicle of what it is, for how it is that prisoners can escape from a fascist system, and it's extremely relevant to us today, because especially in Quebec, Canada, because you guys and us as well, we are so clamped down in a fascist globalist system that is taking away our rights, taking away our liberty, our freedom, and we are in the process of escaping from that system. And we're doing it right now. And it takes sacrifice, and it takes work, and it takes working together and helping each other, even with information, just information. But every bit helps so that we can effect this escape from this crushing fascist control system that we are in right now.
So you said that date, the 14th of October 2019, was the date where the world people retrieved their sovereignty. Yes, and that's what we need to do. We need to do that. We need to, because our sovereignty, our control of our nations and of ourselves has been taken away by this globalist system and their agents. Okay, I would like to do a parenthesis, because Laura Eisenhower said in a video at the beginning of January that the planet Saturn lose its ring, and she did a parallel with the Matrix. She said it's actually in the Matrix, what is going on, it's the wall of the Matrix are collapsing. So we think that we have less sovereignty, and we are more in a slavery system. But what really is happening? How do you see that? Is it really that people see more because what is going on because the wall of the matrix are collapsing? Yes, I think that Laura is right. These walls are collapsing. In ancient times, they would describe it as the scales are falling from our eyes. And that is happening with more and more people, and there's probably things out in the universe that affect this and that make it stronger. But we need to help each other, and we need to focus also
on the mainstream mass of people who are just sheep, who are just following along whoever is in charge. And we need to reach out to those people as well. And we need to try to just plant seeds with them. Try to plant seeds with them. Try to make them understand that, hey, don't look at this mainstream media. Don't pay any attention to it anymore. It's not helping you. It's not informing you. It's not doing anything for you. You know, we need to turn away from this, and we need to instead inform each other and go to sources like this. Go to sources like the studio for information, for what's really going on. And that's what we need to help spread to each other.
Yes, thank you. So you mean that people can reestablish their free will, and they can mention that they have free will. But since that we are trapped in that agenda, how do you see that we can really do it?
Because we've already won if we are in the struggle for freedom and liberty. All it takes is effort, because, like I always say, freedom isn't free. It isn't free. It takes struggle. It takes work. It takes battling. And as in the next few months, we are all going to be involved in these battles. Everyone is going to be affected. There's no longer going to be any room for people to sit on the side and observe, because every single human being is going to be affected by this struggle for freedom, struggle for our sovereignty. And we're all going to be involved, and we all have to fight for it.
I thank you very much for your kindness, answering our question. It's always a pleasure to hear you, to have information from you. I will invite people to look at your Facebook page, and I will let you talk about your webinar that is coming soon.
Yes. I have a webinar coming up August 1st. It is the Truth Investigator Workshop, where I teach people how to be investigators and how to process information so that they can uncover truth in a system based on deceit. And it's so I hope people will go to portaltoascension.org, portaltoascension.org, or go to my site, John DeSouza at events, and they can get tickets. It's August 1st, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And it'll be a very interesting, condensed course, and you get unlimited replay once you buy the tickets, so that you can watch this over and over again, because it's going to be a lot of information condensed into into just 2 hours. So that'll be really something, so that people can learn how to get truth information out for themselves, and that's very, very important. And also I invite people to go to johntamabooks.com to buy books directly from the author, who's me, with a 20% off code. Use FBI as code, get 20% off. And that was it, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
And the studio.